Welcome guys back. This is Green JM and today we will be reading AudioBook A Different Pond. Written by Bao Fry, illustrated by Thao Bai. So, let's get straight to the point, subscribe, and I hope you like this book. A Different Pond. Dad wakes me quietly so Mom can keep sleeping. It'll be hours before the sun comes up. In the kitchen, the bare bulb is burning. Dad has been up for a while making sandwiches and packing the car. Can I help? I ask. Sure, my dad whispers and hands me a tackle box. The streetlights look brighter and the roads aren't so busy before the sun comes up. Dad turns on the heater and tells me stories. A kid in my school said my dance English sounds like a thick, dirty river. But to me, his English sounds like gentle rain. We stop at the bait store on Lake Street. It always seems to be open. You're here early today, the baitman says. I got a second job, my dad explains. I have to work this morning. On a Saturday, the baitman asks. My dad nods. I feel the bag of minnows move. They swim like silver arrows in my hand. It's still dark when we got to the pond. We park the car and climb over the divider between the roads and the trees. My dad holds my hand and walks ahead through the tangle and scrub. Step by step, he says. I'm thinking about what Dad told the bait man. If you got another job, why do we still have to fish for food, I ask. Everything in America costs a lot of money, he explains. I feel calluses on my hand when he squeezes mine. Sometimes a young man is at the pond. He speaks English like my dad and tells funny jokes. Sometimes there's a black man there too. He shows me his colorful lure collection. My dad, this time it's just my dad, me and my dad. It's a little bit cold. I rub my hands together and then yawn and look up to see the faint stars like freckles. As Dad sits up in the clearing, I gather small, thin twigs for a fire. They needed to be dry and clean. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 more for later. I put some rocks in a circle and then set up the twigs, like a volcano, Dad reminds me. I set one end of each twig down, the other up, leaning them in the rest so they can rest each other and hold each other up. I get it to light with just one match, Dad nods. Do you want to put a minnow on the hook? Dad asks. I want to help, but I shake my head no. I don't want to hurt the little fish, even though if it's about to be eaten by a bigger one. My dad smiles. He isn't upset with me. Dad hands me a sandwich, cold bologna between the two pieces of bread. Careful with the spicy stuff, he says. There's half peppercorn like a moon split in two, studded into the meat. I used to fish by a pond like this one day when I was a boy in Vietnam, Dad says, biting into his sandwich. With your brother, I ask? He nods, then looks away. Dad tells me about the war, but only sometimes. He and his brother fought side by side. One day his brother did not come home. The bobber dips in the dark and Dad pulls. Got one, he says, almost shouting. A crappie! And soon another. Can I help, I ask? He nods, and then I use two hands to help guide the fish into a bucket. The fish feels slimy and rough at the same time. Dad laughs at the funny face I make. Dad smiles, his teeth broken and white in the dark, because we know a few fish and he knows we'll eat tonight. Time to go home, Dad must get ready for work. He washes his hands up and with a small nub of green and white soap. I do the same. I look at the trees as we walk back. I wonder what the trees are like at that other pond in Vietnam. By the time we get home, the sunlight is coming through the windows. When we get home, Mom looks tired, but she smiles at the fish in the big white bucket. My dad changes his clothes and gets ready for work. He pats me on the back and says to Mom, "Our boy did a good job with the fire today." "He learned so quickly," Mom says. Then she asks me to go help with the fish. I'm sad that she and Dad must leave, but I'm not too sad. I know that later they'll come. "Look after your brother," Mom reminds me. "My brothers and sisters." She means me. Then she gets on her bike and goes to work. I'm not a baby, I think to myself. I have helped catch dinner. Tonight, when we are all home, Dad will put rice in the cooker and Mom will fry the fish on both sides. I'll bring out the jar of fish sauce that have flecks of chili pepper and carrots floating on top. At the table, my brothers and sisters will tell funny jokes. Mom will ask about their homework. Dad will nod and smile and eat his with his eyes half closed. "Good fish," he will say to me. I will smile and nod. And later, when we sleep, we will dream of fish in faraway ponds. The end. I hope you like this book. I really like this book because it really teaches me that it also has a message that no matter what no matter what you can, tells me that you can, like the fish is sometimes happiness. You can always find one fish, which tells me you can always find happiness in a long black spot, in a giant black spot. You can always find happiness in the universe. So I really like this book, and I hope you liked it too. Subscribe and see you next video. Bye.